All right, welcome to the Let It Fly Show. I am Michael Severe, joined by former Creighton Blue Jay and Central Eagle Josh Jones.
I'm start doing this every time.
Is that upside down? That feels upside down.
No, that's
Is that the right way?
Eagle head.
I always do it wrong. I'm like,
no, you did it perfect.
The first time. I've been practicing every day.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Let It Fly Show inside the Let It Fly Sports Bar in the Capital District. It is a great place to come watch sports, hang out with your friends, eat, get your drink on,
right?
Party stuff on the weekend. They got music playing,
definitely.
all that. It's a place to come and check that out. Don't forget the specials.
Yeah.
Tons of specials.
Yeah. What's today?
Today is Tuesday.
So on a Tuesday, we'll have a Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
And this will come out on a Wednesday.
So it'd be Wings Wednesday.
Wings Wednesday. Dollar Wings Wednesday.
Dollar Wings. Yeah.
Thursdays, you got the steak and frites.
Yep.
Friday, French dip.
French dip.
I love the French dip.
You
is
love
so
it.
good.
I know.
I think
you
the
say
French
that
dip
every
is
time.
one of the best sandwiches that they make. The au jus is good.
Yep.
The melted cheese. The meat is delicious. The bread.
Yep.
My wife says the bread is the key to that sandwich. It's very good.
Yeah.
But you can check that also thanks to Bud Light for being our presenting sponsor and making it
very easy.
They make it easy to drink, easy to enjoy, easy to watch sports, and do all of that as well and have a good time. And don't forget about both the reverse happy hour, which is late, and the early happy hour, which is early.
Right.
Don't forget about that as well. And check out the website and find all of that. And please follow, like, subscribe the podcast, whether you're watching on YouTube. Have we got the Apple or Spotify thing up work yet? Is that working yet? We're working on all that and getting that done, but you can, of course, catch us on YouTube as well. All right, this week's guest, Kevin Kugler. Voice of the NFL, voice of BTN basketball. Just did the College World Series on Westwood 1 just a couple of weeks ago. Does Major League Baseball as well, pops in and out for that. So the voice of a generation, we'll chat with him coming up, talk about the Huskers, his past, all that. And some of his best moments. Let's start with headlines. Recruiting is picking up for Nebraska.
Nebraska recruiting.
They were sitting there.
Young team.
They were last in the Big Ten in recruiting. They only had like 4 recruits. And in the last 10 days or so, keep adding guys. And here's an exciting one. They brought a kid. They signed a kid who's from Chicago, but originally from the home of King Val Elvis, Cameroon.
Oh, dang.
Cameroon guy. His name is Claude Impuma.
All right.
He goes by the name Puma. He's an offensive lineman. He is 6'7", 308 pounds.
Hopefully he moves like a linebacker.
Well, he's only played 1 year of football so far, but got a bunch of offers already.
I like
Nebraska gets him. He's out of one of the best high schools in the country, Mount Carmel. In
how about to say Indomitian too?
On the offensive line side.
Look at that. Nickname, you heard it here first.
Indomitian 2. I like that. They also got a wide receiver who was committed to Arizona State, flipped, Nayland Scott. He's from Georgia. So good for his parents.
Right.
They don't have to go as far as Arizona.
Right.
They just come to Nebraska. Half the trip for them. Congratulations to them. And then the last kid is Leon Noyle.
Okay.
Now, there may have been another one today while we were doing the show. He is from New Orleans Edna Carr, a high school I know well. I actually walk past, when I go on my walks down the levee, I walk past Edna Carr all the time.
Word.
3-time state champion, back-to-back.
That's big time.
Good team.
So he's a contributor.
Their best tackle.
A winner.
From Edna Carr is going to LSU next year. So, he is a probably going to be an insider, probably a guard. Leon Noyle as well. So it's starting to crank it up now. Starting to crank it up.
That.
NFL, NBA draft, headline number 2. Just 2 draft picks. Ryan Kalkbrenner doesn't go to the second day.
Right.
And then your guy from Omaha Central, John Tanji.
He's a grinder. He's a hard hat. He's not a journeyman as far as obviously he hasn't started his pro career. But he's gotten better every year at
every level he's been at.
He's one of the few I've seen.
He is such a physical guy too.
Yes.
He's going to Utah. And of course Charlotte, who was rated by a lot of people to have one of the best drafts.
True.
Right? Charlotte goes there in the second round, and Carpenter's just sitting out there, and as they call him, he's a plug-and-play guy.
He is.
And they already traded one of their big men, so he looks like he's going to play right away.
Hopefully he can be like a Zach Edey, where he's a contributor. But to a team where, they got that main star center, and then they get or 4, and they bring him in as a space filler.
Well, I know they traded that was either Monday, the first day of free agency or whatever, traded their center away.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he's going to probably get the job.
Right.
Here are your free agent signings. Hunter Salas goes to the Sixers.
Legendary.
My Philadelphia 76ers. Chucky Hepburn goes to the Raptors.
And these are 2 ways.
These are two-way contracts. Well, currently, they're just signed as free agents. They're going to camp this week.
Gotcha.
They'll go to camp this week, and they'll get signed to a two-way contract. And then Bryce Williams.
Yeah.
With the Pistons. The Pistons seem to like Nebraska players.
They do.
I've noticed that. They've had a couple of them. So good luck to all those guys, and obviously have a good chance.
Yeah. Did St. Thomas
I did not see. I did not see. I did. I'm
sure he'll play in the
So
Summer
I know
League.
I saw the Huskers. The guard, the guard forward. Oh, what's his name? Just played for them last year. Brother.
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, I know he signed a two-way contract, or at least to go to the Summer League.
Word.
I also saw that Ashworth signed.
Stephen Ashworth.
Yep, he signed one as well. So everybody's gonna get the shot.
Everybody's gonna get a shot.
Get the shot. G League can help out.
But they had to grab the guys that were like basically like honorable mention to be drafted.
Yes.
And give them a shot.
Yeah,
I respect that.
Yeah, the preferential guys.
Yeah.
Headline number 3.
Yep.
One of the craziest stories going on in sports right now. All right. So BYU's starting quarterback, Jake Ratzlaff, who is actually a really good quarterback, he's coming back for his final year.
Yep.
Well, he gets accused of sexual assault.
Damn.
By this girl. Now, if you know BYU, they are not allowed as Mormons to have premarital sex. Not allowed. Now, I don't know how Jim McMahon went through BYU. But so somehow she accused him of this. They find out. He's going to get suspended for 6 weeks because of it. She then withdraw the charges. Yes.
Yeah.
The civil suit is dropped.
There got to be a charge on her for that.
Civil suit is dropped. For whatever reason, she decided to do that. But he's still stuck because even if it was consensual, which he says it was now, he's had premarital sex. He can't.
So they going off the principality.
Yes. So he has decided to transfer.
Dang.
So somebody is going to get a really good quarterback.
Right.
Late in the process. Camp starts in like 3 weeks.
Right.
For most of these schools, BYU's now got to go get one of their young quarterbacks ready to play.
Bro.
It's a crazy story.
To play with.
It's a crazy story.
Right.
They do not play that in the Mormon religion. No doubt about that.
Right.
All right. Coming up, our guest this week, Kevin Kugler. As I always call him, the voice of a generation. He does whatever sport you want him to. Hand him a microphone, he'll do the sport. We'll talk with Kevin. We come back next on the Let It Fly Show. All right, welcome back to Let It Fly Show. We are joined by, as I call, the voice of a generation. NFL on Fox, Westwood One, BTN, everywhere you look, wherever there's a microphone.
I mean,
all of them.
If that's there, I'm on it.
BNT is where I get my fried chicken. Kevin Kugler joining us here on Let It Fly Show. How are you doing?
It's really nice to be back with both of you. I did not know. It took a couple of years to get the re-invite back to the Let It Fly Show.
Don't believe that. Don't believe that. I ask him all the time.
I will just say there was one person on this show who used to play basketball at Creighton and would text me every once in a while like, please come back. And I'd say, I'm on. And then I'd get a text from Michael go, oh, sorry, we're really booked that day. We found somebody that was walking by that we put on instead.
Anybody knows anything about these shows knows it was not booked. Very happy that you were here. This is your little bit of downtime.
It is. I had baseball earlier this week. I work in a little bit of baseball during this time
Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Major League
After
Baseball.
doing college baseball.
Yes.
Is that hard? I'm just playing.
Yes, it's really
very
difficult.
Difficult.
The sport. I mean, who knows what's happening here?
Two different sports.
Swing a bat? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's this is the slower time until we get to preseason football.
Out of all the sports, and maybe you might be the guy and say you can compartmentalize things. Out of all the sports that you cover, what's that greatest sports moment you ever called? I need that.
A big one that you'll love. I'm assuming it's the Kansas shot.
Yeah. No, the 2008 Final Four.
Or the Villanova shot.
The Villanova North Carolina game.
I forgot about. He just run him off. Top five.
I got to call run him off. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to call Usain Bolt in the Olympics in
Wow.
London.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
What?
I got to call Tiger winning. I got to call him at Amen Corner in the 2019 Masters.
Dang.
Which was
that's
where it turned.
That was historic.
And that was really cool to be a part of that and call that. They didn't invite me back much after that, but that was fine. It was fine. I'd already called a cool moment.
Yeah, right.
The North Carolina-Villanova game,
2016,
2008 Final Four, Mario Chalmers and the shot.
That's your first one.
My very first one. I mean, that's hard to beat. And
now, wait, before you go to the other one.
I don't know if there's another one.
Did you expect Mario to hit that shot? Like,
what
was the momentum like in the building at that time?
I honestly didn't know because I was just trying to make sure I called it correctly. It was my first one, and I'm sitting at the table with Bill Raftery and John Thompson. And so they're talking, and I'm just like, I don't want to screw this up. Don't screw this up. Don't screw this up. And that was, I mean, honestly, the shot went up, and you knew it was in,
Dang.
and then you called that it was in, and then we go to overtime. I mean, it was a phenomenal.
So you digested it after?
Oh, way long after. And then I get back, and I won't point at who says it, but then I get back, and he goes, "Hey, that was great. For the rest of time, you're going to hear John Thompson in that call saying, you think they should foul?"
That's very true.
That's cool, man.
But the call
that
you did for the Villanova one, that is on so many gambling shows.
It is.
It's in the open.
It is.
For every gambling show that involves basketball.
1,000%.
Every one of them.
It was the craziest 5 seconds of basketball ever, because you
agree.
thought the North Carolina shot,
which was a double pump from three,
was the shot you thought that was it. It's like, oh my gosh, this moment happened, and then they run right down and hit another shot that trumps the shot that you hit 3 seconds ago.
Did you say the truth at the end of that?
I did not say the truth.
What is do you remember exactly what you said?
I don't know that I've ever said in a call the truth. No, that doesn't really feel like
I thought
me.
maybe it was his nickname.
No.
But what do you say? You remember it?
Like, what's your mic bring?
I don't remember what
you don't remember what you said in there?
No, I don't.
Because you said he rise up, I know, and then you say something, and it gets so loud that you get overwhelmed.
Right.
The sound of you gets overwhelming, so I wasn't quite sure.
That's awesome, man.
Those are great moments. I mean, I've been really lucky in that I've gotten to call a lot of really cool stuff.
What's the biggest NFL one?
Oh, geez. There have been several. Like, I did that Patriots-Chiefs divisional playoff game, and I did the Chiefs-Bills, the original one that had the flurry of points at the end.
Listen, so I'll show you.
The rules changed?
Yeah. I'll show you guys after the show. I made some inquiries today. I'll show you on my phone about the video of it. But the screen on YouTube, we went to that play like 3 hours ago today.
Nice. So that was one of the better NFL moments I've ever gotten the chance to call. I mean, that game forced a rules change in the National Football League, but it was so frenetic and so exciting, and the crowd was insane at Arrowhead. I mean, it was my last game of the year, so it was just, there's no way you're going to get a better game, and there wasn't a better game.
No, you're right about that.
There's no way you're going to get a better game. It was a great way to end the season.
Is there any point during the season, especially when you're doing a few sports at a time, that you get overwhelmed? With the prep, at least?
It's all about compartmentalizing. I mean, it's all about just, all right, today I have to do this, tomorrow I have to do this, then I have to stack this here, and I have to do this here, and how do I prep for this? Well, maybe I prep on a plane. And we used to talk to Charles Davis all the time, one of our great friends, and I think one of the best in the business. And Charles used to talk all the time about how his seat on a plane was his office.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And he'd stick up paper on the seat in front of him, and he'd just kind of make it his office. And you kind of have to do that sometimes. Now, I don't stick up a lot of paper. It's more laptop oriented now, but it's the same scenario. There are many times where I will call my bride when I get somewhere, and I'll say, hey, I got my charts done for this game, which is 2 days from now, because I have, and she doesn't care, but I tell her that anyway because I have nobody else to talk to.
Right.
And so she's like, oh, that's great. But that's what you have to do. You have to compartmentalize all of this stuff just to be able to, in the busiest seasons, to get it done. September and October's easy. You're just doing football. I mean, I shouldn't say easy, but it's it's less busy than when college basketball starts.
Right. Do you believe that from the seat that you sit in versus an actual person in the skybox that you may potentially know more than them? Or do you think like their mind, or do you just call it like you see it?
You fall into that trap. If you think you know more than somebody else, you get into trouble. That's why
there's too many rules.
I'm never good at the brackets. I'm never, everybody always thinks like,
they think, you
know this. You went I don't know anything. I mean, you've been in those film rooms. You know what coaches are looking at. And years and years ago when I was doing CBA basketball, I would sit in hotel rooms on the road, and I'd watch Mike Tebow and Eric Chapman and the Racers staff watching film. And I'd learn some stuff, but most of that stuff that they're breaking down would go over my head. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to soak it in. It's like, drinking from a fire hose in a lot of ways with what coaches do to break down film. So anytime that I start thinking I understand this to the level of somebody who's immersed in it 24 hours a day, something happens that I get slapped down. It's like, you don't know this rule, so don't act like you do.
Are there people in your seat that you've seen over the years, whether rookie or vet, that took on that approach and you try to give them advice not to do it, and you seen it backbite them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that happens. Yeah. There's a certain amount, and it's a fine line. You have to come in. If you're an analyst with me, or anybody else who's doing play-by-play, you have to come in confident. You can't come in and be like, I don't know what's going on, because then you will fail on that end too. So you have to come in with a confidence, but not cockiness.
Gotcha.
So there's that fine line of, I know what I'm doing, but I also know what I don't know.
Gotcha.
And so I'm not going to go out over my skis too much.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a process.
Kevin Kugler joining us from the Let It Fly show. I will give you props.
Thank you.
I think
Thank
was,
you. Well, good night, everybody.
Was it 07, 08? I can't remember which year it was. When you came back in the middle of the season, you'd seen Florida, the Gators football team, play.
Yeah.
And he goes, I think they're the best team in college football.
Wow.
They're going to win it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they ended up making the run and win the championship.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the one time I got it right.
That's not the one time.
Yeah. I came back the next year and I said, you know who's really good in Nebraska? They're probably going to win the whole thing. And they
At no point did you say that.
In 07, I said, you know what? That Husker team in 07 is poised for greatness.
Yeah.
That was an ugly year.
So you essentially seen enough games to where, like, I mean, organically you can kind of see how things play out, but you just kind of live in the moment of it.
Oh,
do
yeah.
your prep work.
You don't ever know how anything's going to play out.
Gotcha.
I mean, I can prepare for days for a game, and then somebody runs the wrong route in a football, or somebody on a basketball court dribbles it off their foot. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen.
A manager gets kicked out in the bottom of the first inning in Game 2 of the College World Series.
Yeah, exactly. and you have no idea, which is, again, you want to talk about a ludicrous thing. That was ridiculous. But I digress.
So even after watching the replay and seeing that he had told him to go back twice and it told him what it was, even with that, he shouldn't have. Should let it play out.
I believe you have to have a feel for the magnitude of the moment in a situation like that. Mm-hmm. I understand that technically the rule was you cannot argue balls and strikes. I will tell you to go back. But I think Angel Campos, the home plate umpire in that scenario, needed to go over, huddle with him for a moment, and say to him, do you understand I'm already violating the rule, the spirit of the rule here by saying this to you.
Right.
You need to stop, or I will kick you out of the national championship game. And I would err, if I were doing that, I would err on the side of being very clear and demonstrative and say, you do this again, you are gone. Do you really think this through for a second? Do you want to be thrown out? You know the rule. Do you want me to throw you out?
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like...
Then he would have gone back.
He would have gone back. Yeah. I think there's, maybe you do that in an April game. I don't know that you do that in a late June College World Series game. I thought, again, I don't think the head coach did any favors for his team.
Right.
Because you're not going to get that change.
No, right,
but there's Angel Campos has had, especially in his time in the major leagues, he was an umpire that was known for having a quick trigger. You go to his wiki page and you can read about some of the guys he's kicked
notable
kickouts in his career before he wasn't retained in 2014. So I think there's an area you can get to as an umpire and as a human to where you say, look, dude, try to break through the heat of the moment and say, recognize what you're doing here.
Right.
Yeah.
You got about 5 seconds to figure it out, or you're gone.
Yeah.
And that last pitch on the stolen base was so far inside that nobody realized. I remember doing the TV coverage. I can't remember which one of the three said it. Goes, was that a strike on the last pitch?
Yeah.
Like they realized. It was after all the kick-out.
We said, thanks for listening. We said on the radio that there was that it was very surprising that it was called the way it was, because that's sort of like an afterthought. Like, wait a minute, that was that?
Yeah.
So
I didn't think you were. I didn't know you were doing it.
Okay, thanks.
I did not know you were doing it because you told me you were never doing the College World Series again.
Am I?
17 times you told me that.
Always.
And then eventually I got to the point where you actually weren't doing it.
After a 3-game day, I'm like, I'm never doing this again. You're like, okay, bye. So now I tweeted a lot about it. Am I one of the 1,027
No,
people
you're not muted at all.
I'm muted?
No,
not you?
Well, you got to remember, I was coming off traveling.
Did you mute Kugler in your muted words list?
I was coming off of traveling, and so when I got back, that's when I realized you were doing the game. But I was watching the TV coverage.
Michael sees 4 tweets, and none of them, every word I might think of,
there's not a lot of people.
They're all muted.
Michael, you didn't hear about that? I go, no, I did not.
No,
yes,
he had no idea.
I missed all of that.
Let's talk some NBA.
All right.
Now, one sport he doesn't call. No, sure.
So just from your perspective of like basketball, because a lot of times whoever's in the championship, depending on who it is, that's the direction basketball will go in. The Pacers and the Thunder. How do you feel about that finals that we had? And do you feel like the momentum of this next generation of basketball is now?
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, you've look, and I know LeBron just re-signed, so re-upped or whatever he did with his contract. So you've got the bridge of the former generation and the current generation.
Right.
It's what's interesting to me is I don't know who that one named star is going to be for the next generation.
I want to know.
Because each of our generations in the last 3 generations of NBAs have had basically a one-name star. MJ.
Yes.
Kobe.
Yes.
LeBron.
Magic and Bird.
And Bird. I mean, before that. So really 4 generations.
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy is with this group. And I think it's a continuing problem for the NBA. You can say all you want about NBA ratings and everything else.
Right.
One of the big problems for the NBA is it was constantly a league marketed as a star league.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Very true.
And there's not that. I mean, there's a lot of great players, believe me.
Right.
But there's not that.
You're right.
There's not that.
Who's the face?
I never thought about it. It has been a star league.
It's been a star marketed league, too. They marketed it as this. I mean, think back to the 90s NBA on NBC. The opens to those shows, it's star.
The star. Carmelo versus Michael Jordan.
Correct.
I remember.
Now you do that, and it's like, all right, coming up, it's Miles Turner. Well, that doesn't draw the average fan in.
Yeah.
It's been interesting to watch because we are in an era in which televised sports is the one major thing that's drawing people to television.
That's
still.
True.
I mean, you're seeing Fox Baseball is up. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN is up. And everybody says, oh, baseball's dying. Well, ratings are up for that.
Right.
Ratings were not up for the NBA Finals.
No.
And part of it is the market size. Part of it, though, is it's a league that was marketed for stars.
Yes.
And there's no overwhelming star right now.
Man, you're breaking it down.
Star or stories?
Star or stories.
So if you have a story, like if Golden State makes it, obviously they got a star. But there's some out there stories.
That's
Lakers are a story too with LeBron.
I'm thinking
there was no story in it.
No, there was no story.
The youngest team in the last 30-something years.
Right.
Against the Pacers, an upstart who is a 4 seed.
Correct.
I mean, it really wasn't a story.
And there's 2 small markets.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, look, SGA is not a guy that you're looking at going, there's the guy that's the face of the future.
That's true.
He's a great player.
Right.
But unless you're really invested in it,
I know.
You're probably
you
not
gotta
watching that.
love it.
We went through it. Who's the best American player?
We talked about that.
Right. Once you get past LeBron,
and I was listening.
Like
only people that I can give him were last generation.
Right.
Yeah. I couldn't give him a new guy.
I mean, if you went out right now into the restaurant that we're in at Let It Fly, and you walked table to table and you said, name one superstar basketball player, how many people would say Caitlin Clark before anybody in the NBA?
That's probably true.
That's fact.
A lot of
I mean,
she
is the overriding face of basketball right now.
That is
fact.
I agree.
No, men, women, young, old, they're wearing Caitlin Clark jerseys right now.
I agree.
I agree. It's the most remarkable thing, but she's coming along at a perfect time for her sport.
She did
because the NBA has not got that star.
It's down from that star perspective.
I watch her, and matter of fact, because I watch her, I started watching some of the other games as well because you can gamble on anything.
I gotta admit that I did the same thing.
She's a phenomenal player. She's a transformational, generational player.
I agree.
And the NBA does not have that person right now.
They don't.
That gets everybody interested in the game. Plus, you have you have all the underlying stories that seem to come along with Caitlin Clark and WNBA players liking her and not liking her.
They voted her ninth. They voted her ninth, and not among all players. Just backcourt players.
Right. And her stats were better than 3 above her,
which is insane.
And she's missed a bunch of games. I know, but still, come on, it's an all-star game.
She's the best player in the league. She's his. You could throw any stat you want.
Asia's she's on a different planet.
Correct.
She's a little bit different, but in terms of people around the world who they know, they're going to know Caitlin Clark.
That's fact.
So anyway,
we broke it down.
We both grew up with a lot of radio, listening to radio, especially here. You were here in Nebraska. It was so important. So Nebraska goes out, hires a new voice for football. It's Kyle Crooks. He's from out of town. He's not a guy that knows Nebraska. What did you think about when you saw that it was? And you knew it was coming. We all knew it was going to be outside.
No, this was news to the people who weren't in the business, like you and I are. I mean, it was sort of like when you broke the news of the new local radio affiliate a month before they announced it. Like, hey, big surprise! Michael tweeted it out in May, but they sent out a release the other day, and I'm like, I saw this. Delete. But look, here is the situation that you have in Nebraska right now. I don't know who that person, that young talent voice in the state of Nebraska would be.
Because they've all left.
I mean,
most of the guys have left.
Look, our friend Lane Grindle did the last 2 games of the regular season last year and did the bowl game for Greg. And I know Lane would have very much enjoyed having the opportunity to do football again, and I think would have been able to work it out with the Milwaukee Brewers. Right. I don't think I'm not breaking any news here.
Sure.
That was not the direction that Troy Dannon wanted to go. Troy believes in having someone here who is that face of your program, who is at every practice, every banquet, every whatever.
Every groundbreaking.
Correct. Yep. And that's great. I mean, if that's how you want your university your play-by-play guy to be working, then I mean, that's your prerogative. You're the athletic director. But that's going to limit – there's a limited pool. You have, I'm doing other stuff. There are other people around here who could do it.
Like Culhane was here. Culhane's good. It's at Florida State.
Yeah, I mean,
he's in a good spot.
And he's got a young family, and Jeff Culhane, the voice of Florida State, he's got a great job.
Yep.
And winter is a little better in Florida than it is in Nebraska.
I'm
not breaking any news here.
So
there's just I don't know who that other person would have been. So you had to look outside, and you had to find who you think is the best up-and-coming talent to do this job. And, I don't know Kyle's work. I've heard his clips like everybody else. I'm sure he'll do a fine job. I mean, it's an important role for the state of Nebraska, but it's not something you can't learn.
He's lucky to have a historian of the program next to him for every game.
Correct.
All week long.
And Damon Benning's there, too, so that'll be good for him.
That's funny.
Yeah, Damon Benning is the one I was considering.
I thought you were talking about Matt Coatney. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't Coatney. Coatney actually is a historian as well, but not as much as Damon, who played for them and grew up around the program.
What's going to be exciting for Kyle is he's going to get to hear so many great stories about kicking. And that's, Damon Benning, one of the great kickers of all time.
One of the true great white kickers of all time.
White kickers, It's going to be great.
While we're on Nebraska, I heard Matt Rhule say, I can't paraphrase it, but he basically said, either I'm going to turn this program around or I'm going to be recognized for trying to do it with expectation.
Yeah.
What direction is Nebraska in your perspective?
I think it's moving in a positive direction, but like any coach in this era of college football, the third year is a big year. This is an important year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a make or break year. I'm not saying now if they go.
I felt like
if they go 2-10, that's different. But if they go, if they go 8-5, that's an if they go 2-10.
Okay, good.
But if they go 8-5, I don't know that anybody's like, oh my gosh, get him out of here. I just think you have to continue to show positive momentum. Yeah. I think you have to be able to be competitive against the best teams. Yes. I think it's time for that. Yeah. It's a very young roster.
Yes,
extremely. 89 guys who are either like true freshmen or redshirt freshmen.
Right. Wow. I mean, it's a young team.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You've got to see growth from your quarterback this year. I mean, there's just a lot of different things that you need to see, benchmarks that you need to hit in a year 3.
Right.
And everybody talks about Matt Rhule as a builder and what he did in year 3 at Temple and what he did in year 3 at Baylor.
I know. That's where this is coming from.
This is a much younger team than either of those third-year teams that he had in those programs. So let's be honest, it's in a much different conference and a more difficult conference.
And he changed all 3 coordinators.
Correct.
Something he didn't do with the other schools.
Correct. So I think they're a fascinating story in college football. He's got a lot of positive momentum, and I said this with you, I think the only other time you allowed me on this show. Since he's been here, he's done everything off the field.
No doubt.
Nobody, not Bob Devaney, not Tom Osborne, not Mike, not Riley, not Pelini, not anybody, has done a better job of being out in the community and embracing being the Nebraska football coach.
I know.
Than Matt Rhule. He's the best.
I was shocked he was at Omaha North like 4 or 5 times.
He's an ambassador for Nebraska.
He reps Nebraska everywhere he goes, and he's everywhere. His family has embraced this, and I think that's when you're a fishbowl coach.
Yes.
And this place is a fishbowl. We all know it. Yep. You have 2 ways you can go. You can hide from it, or you can embrace it.
Yep.
He's the type of personality to embrace it. Now the winning's got to continue to build as a result of that.
Yeah.
And I think if it does, I mean, they'll build a statue for this guy at some point. If he wins because of his personality, I mean, it's sky's the limit. But this is a big year.
That's Kevin Kugler joining us on the Let It Fly show. Okay, so on his X account, he wrote, "Too many people have profited financially off of negativity and despair. Their time is over."
What does that mean?
That's what I was going to ask you.
We were talking about that on the drive down here, my wife.
Whose fault is it?
Okay. And I don't know what that means.
Okay.
I assume.
I got 2 people accused.
You got 2 people? All right. Well, look, I'm just glad you and I are not doing sports talk anymore because that would have been
us.
That would have been us. Yeah. I mean, it would have been profiting on the negativity.
Yeah.
So
I think it's either the recruiting guy who came out and made a big deal saying Nebraska's failing in 2026 recruiting.
Sean Callahan.
It wasn't him.
Okay.
It was an outside guy. Or it's Josh Peterson.
Oh, you think that's a Tweederson shot?
Well, they do this thing, the Groin Kick Chronicles, where they talk about teams and games that they lost. And a couple of them have been...
They be going in probably.
They go deep into it.
They go in.
They are on a Patreon, so they are making money off of it.
Damn.
Wow.
So that means he sees the shit, though.
So
he sees everything.
Damn.
So does
everything.
So does this mean that
Jack Mitchell's out? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So he's not in anymore. He's not in. He's not an in anymore.
I know Jack was not very happy to think that was him. I don't know who it was. I do like the fact that he has no problem, especially this last year, of just saying, look, man, I tried it this way. I tried it this way. I tried to cater to everybody. Screw that.
Dang.
We got to win.
Well,
my way, we're going to win.
And you have to do that.
Yeah.
You have to be confident enough in your way to do it. Bo Pelini was confident that his way was going to work.
For sure.
He was overwhelmingly confident. The difference in Bo is that instead of being immersed in the fishbowl, he shied from the fishbowl.
Right.
And then he would occasionally walk up and hit the fishbowl with a hammer, and it would crack. And you'd get the duct tape out. And by that, they ran out of duct tape. I mean, it was a mess. But look, I think he's doing it the right way, and I don't think as the coach of a major college football program, you have any room to be able to worry a whole lot about what anybody's saying about how you're doing it.
Yeah.
You have to be confident enough that what you do works, and that what you do is going to work because it worked here and it worked here.
Yes.
So you have to think it's going to work here. If you come in and you second guess yourself, you're going to fail. You will absolutely fail. Doesn't mean you don't evaluate yourself.
Especially here.
Doesn't mean you don't revamp things.
Yeah.
But it does mean that if you come into this and say, ooh, boy, I don't know, you got no chance.
Yeah. We were together for, I think, 3. No, when did you leave? You live in 12?
Yep.
Okay. You weren't around then for when they went to the Big Ten championship and got killed by Wisconsin?
I think I just left, yeah.
Okay. So, can you believe...
Yes.
That was the last time they've been in a conference championship game. I mean, to think about it, you got back-to-back ones.
That's
you haven't been since 99 they won a conference. It's crazy to think about what you grew up in, what you've seen, the amount of money. You always talk about money. You always said if you put enough money into it, you're going to win.
I like him because I'll be preaching that.
Whip it.
They've money whipped. They finally money whipped things.
Yes.
And it hasn't worked the way they're wanting it to.
Right.
And in a lot of their sports, they've committed the financial resources to it, and apparently they're committing financial resources enough that Josh Peterson's getting rich off of their despair.
Right.
But there's money whipping, and then you have to money whip it right.
Right. Correctly,
And apparently that has not been the case.
No. It's incredible to think about.
No,
it's
I'm
been
just
that long, 13 seasons.
Just hearing what you said, I feel like one of these days, well, maybe he shouldn't because he's a head coach. Are there coaches out there that's going to call exactly who they feel out? Like, why not just do that?
I know a guy who was in the line at Chick-fil-A.
I got called.
Got called on the phone. Basically, everybody but me got a call from Pelini at some point.
Yeah, he be going in.
I didn't get a call.
But it's all truth telling though. It's not like anybody is getting called out as saying it's not facts.
We never did anything critical that was personal. It wasn't like we went out of, except for the 80, but we did other things that never for a coach.
Right.
Never for a coach was it ever brought up as a personal thing. It was a criticism of things they did on the field or in the recruiting world. And I think that's all fair game. And any coach who is in this business has to understand that that's fair game. And it's even more fair game now in the college realm.
Oh, yeah, because you're getting paid.
You're getting, this is professional sports.
Right.
So kids, you might as well talk about it.
The kids are off. The kids used to be kind of off limits. You'd be like, I don't want to criticize him. He's an 18-year-old.
I agree.
No, I'm sorry. You're an 18-year-old kid making $150,000.
Yeah, no. I think it's fair game.
You're getting criticized just like the basketball player, just like anybody else. I mean, there's just you have to it's a different landscape now.
Yeah.
And I think Matt Rhule understands that and isn't going to worry about any of that stuff.
And I
hope he can make his players understand that.
He said too many people have profited financially off of negativity and despair. Their time is over.
So the way you read that again, what I'm hearing is he's saying we're not going to provide them with any negativity and despair anymore.
Right, because we're going to win now.
We're going to stop. We've stopped the despair well. The despair well is going to dry up. Enjoy talking about old negativity and old despair. Yeah. We're not feeding the fire with any new.
Well, just in the amount of time he's been here, and it's only been 2 years.
Yeah.
You have what happened in the Maryland game.
Yep.
You have what happened in the Minnesota game. You have so many things you can point at and go, that was their mistake.
For sure.
They made the mistake.
On them. Yeah.
It was on them.
No doubt.
It allows people to be able to go back like they do with the Groin Kick Chronicles, something like that, and make a bunch of money.
Yeah. I mean, Josh, rolling it.
Making all the money. Let's do a little rapid fire.
Okay.
All right. So give me the one team you're most looking forward to calling games for because it's going to be fun in the NFL.
Steelers. I think the Steelers are a fascinating team.
Fun is not the word. Fun is maybe not the word. Maybe you have a different meaning for fun.
Fun is.
You think it's fun for Damon Benning, you think?
I think Damon Benning's going to get an ulcer by the time November rolls around. I think fun to me is fascinating, and I think what they're doing right now is fascinating because they're clearly can Mike Tomlin's system, which is such a great system,
it is.
Can it mold all this together?
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. I'm fascinated to see it.
He's always notorious for getting the guy, and I'm always worried if he can contain his personality.
And he has.
Every year.
Yeah. He's done a great job of doing it.
He's one of the best coaches of all time.
Yeah.
Now it's Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, my God.
And they had Jalen Ramsey in this, too.
It's going to be fun. I'll feel you on that.
Fun, not for Damon. Your thoughts on the new Running Man movie?
No, it doesn't exist.
How good is the trailer, though?
Why are we?
Come on, be serious.
No.
Did you watch the trailer?
I did watch the trailer.
How good was it?
I'm going to leave this to y'all.
It was a great trailer.
I'm going to leave this to
y'all. It was awful.
It was a good trailer.
It's not even the movie.
But it's the book, right?
It's not. I don't know what the book is.
They tell me, and I don't know because I can't read, they went through and they're following the line of the movie in this one. I mean,
they're following the line of the movie. That's what they should have done. Yeah. We have the blueprint.
Right.
Yeah. Arnold gave us the blueprint. Where's Jim Brown?
Don't you want good acting this time?
There was great acting.
Horrible acting. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the worst actors in the history of the planet.
Great
You
acting.
had a guy who was a game show host.
Who was a fantastic... Look, man, I will not stand
for
any
other
Richard
jobs
Dawson
he got after?
disparaging.
What did he do after
He was in Hogan's Heroes. One of the great shows of all time.
Heroes.
That was 60 years ago.
So? He's dead. He's a dead man.
He is dead. Remember always that he always...
John Wayne was in some great movies, too. Are we criticizing John Wayne? He's dead, too.
Don't be talking about the Duke like that.
Yeah, all right.
Don't be comparing the Duke to Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson was a better villain than the Duke ever could have been.
This is hilarious.
So good.
That
trailer.
Something we can agree on.
Why would you bring that up?
Because it was a great trailer.
It's awful.
And I know you love the other movies so much.
I do love the movie.
Do you believe that James Gunn can get it done in the DCU?
Yes, I'm very excited for this.
Because it's everybody's tried.
Yes,
I know. There's been a lot of failure.
Where's that meme of the guy standing up in the Norman Rockwell thing with his with his bold take?
Yeah.
Man of Steel was a good movie.
No, I think so.
Man of Steel was a good Superman movie.
Yeah, and all his squad, his Death Squad, what's it called?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Man of Steel was good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't James Gunn. But James Gunn's Guardians trilogy is one of the best things Marvel has done.
Yep.
It's because that's one of those movies you went into. Very few people knew anything about the characters.
Right.
And you walked out of that movie going, that was fantastic. I want to see more of Star-Lord, and I want to see more of a raccoon, and I want to see more of Gamora. I mean, I want to see all these people.
And
Groot. I am Groot. And then, now this is Superman.
Do you not watch Cut the Curtain? Do you watch the movie?
No, I do.
Okay.
All I'm trying to, I might take the air out of the room.
You're about to, yeah. Am I going to cry?
I'm good on DC. It's all the DC movies are all.
The new Superman, though, is expected to be incredible.
Expected.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Now, I also
people are saying,
and this is a hot take.
Okay.
I think if Jurassic Park, this is totally different.
Yeah.
If they had more dinosaur killings on human beings versus talking, it'd be a nice movie. I feel like DC's the same.
Have you already seen it?
I've seen it. No, I've seen every one before.
But have you seen the one with ScarJo in it?
Man, too much talking.
The reviews for this are so bad.
I love them, though. They all say the same thing. They go, this movie is a mess. But man, did I have a good time watching it. That's what people say about it. So, all right.
Yeah. I'm excited for the Superman.
I saw F1. F1 was
excited about Superman.
Go see F1.
I will. Oh, F1. That's on the list.
F1 is, you walk out of that, you're like, okay.
All right.
Try driving home slowly when you leave that movie.
Everybody says that if you like Top Gun Maverick, and I love Top Gun Maverick, that you will like F1 because it's the same guys behind it.
Okay.
And it's just a movie about F1. There's nothing in it at all that's going to.
There's a little bit of a love story. They forced their way.
I
just don't like
Top Gun. They didn't love the car. There's a woman involved. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like too much wasted scenes of
talking.
Yeah.
But listen, you have to have exposition to get from one dinosaur killing to the other.
So if
you just want back-to-back dinosaur killing.
If I'm putting together your perfect movie, it's just dinosaurs running around eating somebody who starts to talk. I have an idea.
Oh,
and there it goes.
God,
the guy just chomps down. That's it.
This is funny,
At the end of your movie, there's nobody left.
Yeah.
Who's the one saying the final line? The dinosaur?
No, the final line to me would be a person that act like he was dead.
And he came back.
There we go.
You know how hard it is to act like you weren't killed by a Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Man, I just feel like DC is a lot of talking.
Right. Well, let's move to Marvel. What about Fantastic Four?
They've screwed up every Fantastic Four.
I know.
They have.
Did you really think the first one was that bad?
No, it was fine.
I think it was fine. I think it was fine.
It was fine. The latest one they did was terrible.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's Fox.
Yeah.
Sony Fox.
Fox. It was so bad.
They're bad at what
they
they do.
changed the characters all around.
They did.
It made no sense. Yeah. I am optimistic, but I'm always optimistic because I love the story of the Fantastic Four.
It's great.
I love
and
it's to me it's one of the best Marvel stories that's out there. The book's been around for 1,000 years.
Yeah. Yep.
It's
62, 3.
Everybody claims they want something wholesome, something nice. It's as wholesome a
family.
story.
Yeah,
it's a family story.
Yep.
They're all, no matter what happens, and they have their moments and, I'm mad at you and I'm mad at you. They always come back together to fight whatever evil there is.
Yep.
I just hope, and Pedro Pascal is a fantastic actor.
You think he's overexposed?
He's Well, so's the dude in your Running Man movie. He's in every freaking movie there is right now.
The black guy.
No,
not
Glenn.
the black,
what's his name?
Well, the
Glenn
black guy
Powell.
is too.
Well,
every time they need a character who is very tall, who's black, they pick that guy.
Samuel L. Jackson's too old now.
Yeah, he is.
For that. Although Samuel's probably like, damn it, that guy came along and just took all my work.
Oh, I mean, he's ready to be the worst.
First of all,
he's ready
did you
to
know
be back as the
Samuel
worst
L.
Jedi?
Jackson didn't get a movie until he was in his late 40s or something like that. Anyway.
He was older.
He's made up for Lost Time.
He's made 6 movies a year.
He's like Liam Neeson now.
He is amazing. I think Fantastic Four's going to be great. By the way,
I hope so.
My rule's always the same thing. Grab one of those mini comic books that have been written, that have been successful, and just make the movie off of that.
There's a blueprint for 60 years of Fantastic Four comics in which they fight Mole Man, or they fight Galactus, or they fight Doctor. I mean, you could take Doctor Doom and make an entire trilogy of the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom off of a comic book.
And I think they're going to eventually do that.
Yes, I think
really,
so too.
X-Men messed up so many different times. The 2 really good ones are based right out of books.
Days of Future Past is one of my all-time favorite Marvel movies. I've watched that I don't know how many times because it's right out of the comic book. Yes, they made different changes and who's sending him back with the powers are different, but still.
And then First Class.
Yeah.
Which was another one that's very good.
Yep. Very good.
Last one from me. When you're calling a game, which one of these 2 fan bases give you the most guff? It's an old-fashioned word.
The
most guff on the socials. Is it the Creighton Blue Jay basketball fan, or is it the Nebraska Cornhusker?
It's Nebraska by far.
Really? Hey, you went to school there. You're a Nebraskan.
It is not
you're
even
alumni.
close. No,
I've come around on your own.
I've come around for Creighton fans for the most part. They seem to. Maybe it's because I have the Nick Boss seal of approval now.
You do.
I carry the stink of Nick Baugh with me. So
Nicky B's like, he's all right.
Yeah. Nick says he's good. He's good. Now Nick loves everybody.
He does.
So it's really not that exclusive a club.
Right.
But to have the Nick Boss seal of approval has helped me with them a great deal. Nebraska fans, man, I don't know. I kind of give up. I just I don't go out much. I try not to. I try to lay low because they're going to come up and say something to me.
For a team that has never had success,
hey, man.
They're so angry.
They're very angry.
So angry. They've never.
I know.
I'm not laughing at the Huskers.
I know
this
will surprise you, but I have many volumes of screenshots of things that people have sent me over
that's
the years.
cool.
He holds a grudge.
That is sweet.
He holds a grudge.
And at some point...
Please, keep that.
Oh, no, I have them all. I mean, I
That's
don't throw devices away that have them on it, so I can go back and get them. I mean, messages I got when I was hosting Big Red Wrap-Up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, from people using their names, too. Like,
back then, people didn't care.
Facebook messages from some guy like, I'm the vice president of this, and I think you should blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't even know anatomically how to do that. I appreciate it. And,
yoga.
And so, it's anymore now, it's just like, you're terrible. All right, well, that's uncreative.
Yeah.
It really doesn't
I know,
do
it's not too much.
And that's fine. But boy, Nebraska fans back in the day were just, mean.
Yeah.
Still are, but I don't. Most of my notifications, like Michael Severe, are blocked. I don't see much of anything. So
I don't run from it. I'll keep it like you.
No, but I have screenshot after screenshot. I have a bunch on my phone. If you ever need me to just read through them on a show one time, I'll just come on and go,
that would
Dave
be funny.
Jones. He says,
mute phrases. I have so many phrases muted. Like going back like 9 Olympics.
Yeah.
I have all that stuff.
Yeah.
Pujang or whatever, that's never coming across mine.
No.
Because Pujang is...
You should come up with...
thank goodness, because I was about to tweet some Pujang things the other day.
The
Chloe
celebrity
Kim
mean tweets. You should do it something like that.
I could do an entire...
Do it before somebody else do it.
I could do an entire series. You want me to break one out now?
Oh, you can do one now?
I told you I have screenshots for years on my phone here.
That's awesome.
Let's see. Let's find. Let's see.
Mean tweets.
Mean tweets
about Kevin Kugler.
We need that. We need that.
Wednesday's BTN announce crew: Kevin Kugler, Sean Morris, and Lisa Byington. Michael Murphy responds: horrible crew. Okay, fine.
I mean, Byington.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible, terrible. Let's see. What else do we have here? Just so many fun things.
Yeah, I see you're trying to keep it.
Here we go.
John
Clancy. Kevin Kugler's going to end up like Dick Vitale. Annoying.
Wow.
Okay. Or the most famous voice in all of basketball. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what that means.
I thought you were going to say
this is from Slim 1525. How do you guys speak so clearly while sucking so much Atlanta Falcon bleep?
Wow.
Well, that's Atlanta Falcon fans. I mean,
they're bad, right? I mean,
I always go back to what did he say to make you feel like that?
I have no idea.
You know what happens? Atlanta was winning.
Yeah.
And you are calling more winning plays for the team who's winning, so they think you're being biased.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
it's
that's what it is.
the stupidest thing in the world.
Here's a good one. This is from Johnny Sayhay.
Hey, Johnny.
You've sold your soul for money, announcing NFL treasonous felons. You're lousy anyway. A mimic of Marv Alpert, not Albert. Marv Alpert.
That's actually the guy who plays the trumpet.
Yeah. And overly dramatic.
He tried to go in.
Which this read was overly dramatic.
It was overly dramatic.
I can tell that these people don't argue in real life.
These people are just mad.
Yeah.
Mad, and they've probably been drinking a little bit, and they lost a little bit of money.
Dang.
Yeah.
Team is lost. Yeah, that's all right.
I'd rather listen to Bishop over your garbage voice.
Somebody just went in on you.
I just went in on Bishop, too.
Like Bishop, yeah.
I mean,
that's how bad his voice is. He'd rather listen to Bishop. That's what he's saying.
You should start something where at least like once a week you get on screen, though, and you read it versus tweet it.
Yeah, I mean, I
he retweets some of the stuff sometimes.
Cody said,
make it a thing, right?
Nebraska game sucks so bad when you called them. Hashtag hack. Hashtag mouth breather.
That's a lot of hacks.
Sir.
And the hack is got 13
like
letters.
All the A's. Hack.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's from 2018. Just so you know, I've saved.
He's saving them for you.
Yeah, they're some people say I have a problem. Others think that maybe it's a good form of therapy.
The man holds a grudge, as they say, like Khomeini. That's what he does.
Many people say, and many therapists will tell you, grudge holding is a healthy thing.
Yes, Steve Smith used it to have an NFL career.
Yeah.
Probably a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, exactly.
I love this guy.
Kevin Kugler, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. We will see
always
you
fun,
doing
man.
preseason football.
Yeah,
with the Houston Texans.
August 8th. Yeah, Texans get it started. If you're watching, you'll see it if you're in Houston.
I watch all the preseason games.
I know you love football.
I love football. I can't wait for it to come back.
Football happens this month.
Yay!
I know.
Hall of Fame game.
Really important. All right, thank you for having me on your show. I'll see you in 5 years when you bring
Thank you very much, Kevin Kugler, Let It Fly Show. All right, welcome back to Let It Fly Show. Kevin Kugler.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, you're cracking up, man.
You know why? Because y'all really are good friends.
Well, we did a show together for 8 years, every day. Went through a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
So you kind of know, and he's just naturally funny.
Yeah.
And so,
sure.
It was good. And the tweets, man.
Yeah, I know.
The tweets that he's saving.
I really believe that he should start a Kevin Kugler mean tweets.
Yeah.
But make it video.
Yeah, not Kevin Cooner.
Kugler.
But Kugler would be good.
I said Kugler.
Kugler would be bad. But yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, and I know the dude will hold a grudge.
Yeah.
And so I'm not surprised that he's saving those at all. Special thanks to Kevin Kugler for being our guest this week.
Fun. It was fun.
Of course, Caleb, technical producer, taking care of that. Also, what I like to call our executive producer, Mike Allen, who is kind of over this whole thing for the bar, and Stable Gray for putting everything together as well. Reminder: thank you to Bud Light for making things
very easy
on you, whether you are watching basketball, whether you're watching Kevin Kugler on a Sunday, doing Fox on the NFL, however it is, they make it easy to drink and easy to enjoy, and also like and subscribe. Wherever you see our podcast, please do that. Follow. We're getting more subscribers, helping out. We're trying to build a show, and so we appreciate you being a part of that. Josh, take us away.
Hey, Josh Jones here with Michael Severe. You know how we do it. It's a Let It Fly show.